As I begin my eighth season of this podcast, it's good to be back for another college football season. Podcasts will also be on YouTube as well. So please subscribe to my channels if you haven't done so already on Spotify, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Uh, I'll have all those in the on the YouTube description. It would really help immensely if you give me a follow. It helps grow the channel immensely. So, without further ado, let's get started with season number 8 of this podcast. In part 1 of the 12 part Hurricanes opponent preview series, we will preview the 2026 Stanford Cardinal, our opponent out in Palo Alto on Friday, September 4th at 9 p.m. on ESPN. Stanford will start a significant transformational moment this year with new coach Tavita Pritchard and GM Andrew Luck. Now, Pritchard's going to face a major challenge navigating a challenging ACC schedule while creating depth for the future after inheriting a team that went 4-8 a year ago. Now, Pritchard was a quarterback and OC for the Cardinal, is now in charge of creating a culture of disciplined physical football, and he has the backing of GM Andrew Luck, who is responsible for making Stanford nationally relevant again while managing the team's strict academic requirements and the challenges of long distance travel. See, the main goal in 2026 for Stanford is to create a stable depth chart, especially after losing important players like offensive tackle Emeka Okojuri to Florida. The quarterback situation, they have a redshirt senior and Michigan transfer Davis Warren, who's expected to be the starter, and he brings valuable FBS experience. And their offensive strategy, look, they had a tough time last year. They ranked near the bottom nationally in total yards. The key targets for their passing game will be depend on heavily on transfers Carter Shaw and Nico Brown, along with a highly anticipated breakout season from redshirt freshman John Anthony Hall. We look to the defensive side of the ball. The Cardinal defensive backfield ranked last in the FBS for passing yards last year. Although the defense retains most of its starters, they're going to need significant improvement there. The main focus there is edge rusher Tevora Tafidi, who is generating real interest among scouts in the NFL for next year's draft. Now, look, Stanford has a very tough schedule. They will be in 5 games on the East Coast in a 9-week period, and that starts with Duke September 19th. They also have in that 5-game stretch Wake October 3rd, Notre Dame the next week, Halloween night Louisville, and Virginia Tech off a bye on November 14th. Look, analysts across the country see 26 as a key year for building a foundation due to the extensive travel demands of an ACC schedule, along with a prominent non-conference game against Notre Dame and the conference opener against the Canes on September 4th, as I mentioned earlier. The common predictions indicate that the Cardinal may improve, but they still have a tough season, potentially 3-9 or 4-8, while Pritchard gets his system and his players in place to buy into that system. Now, from a Canes perspective, listen, it's our opener. It's on the road. It's the West Coast trip. We get out of the way early. Look, this team's not going to roll over. We know that. But at the same time, we need to go out to Palo Alto and take care of business. We need to drop the hammer on these guys out of the gate on the road and start 1-0 going into the home opener on Thursday night against FAMU. My final prediction for the Cardinal in 26 is 4-8. In part 2, I will preview the FAMU Rattlers.